Welcome to the post-match coverage of the qualifier in the Lanka Premier League 2021 second edition, where the defending champions, the Jaffna Kings from the north, took on the runners-up of last year's tournament, the Galle Gladiators from the south, in a game played at the Mahinda Rajapaksa International Cricket Stadium in Suryawewa, Hambantota. Well, this was the third time that these two teams locked horns. And surprisingly, Ferreira, the captain of the Jaffna Kings, who won the toss, decided to chase. So what he did was he invited the Galle Gladiators to take first lease of the wicket. Now this was a surprising move because in the first round and second round, the Galle Gladiators set two totals and the Jaffna Kings failed to get to these targets and lost both games. The only two games that they lost in this tournament so far was to the Galle Gladiators. So was it going to be third time lucky? Well, unfortunately no, because the Jaffna Kings went on to lose the game by 64 runs. Now the Galle Gladiators, taking maximum use of this invitation to bat first, sent their openers in, Kusal Mendis and Danushka Gunatilaka, and the two of them put on a fantastic partnership of 121 runs in 13.1 overs before Gunatilaka was out for 55, and thereafter Kusal Mendis, who demonstrated his flamboyance, class and everything that entails the beautiful batsman that he is, in scoring 85 runs, which included 4 sixers that sailed over the ropes and 7 hits to the boundary for 4. Thereafter, skipper Bhanuka Rajapaksa joined the fray and he also hit 3 sixers in scoring 25 runs off the 15 balls that he faced. But unfortunately, he was out in the last ball of the 20th over when he was caught on the deep square leg boundary line. When it was the Jaffna Kings' turn to chase this huge total set up by the Galle Gladiators, who put on 188 for 5 on the board in their allotted 20 overs, they unfortunately got off to a terrible start. There were only 2 batsmen who got into double figures. Gulbaz, Ramanullah Gulbaz, who scored 59. He was the one who was thumping a couple of 4s and 6s, and when he got out, there was nobody else who came to the party to support the Jaffna Kings. In fact, all the top batters, such as Avishka Fernando was out for 6, Tom Kolakadmo for 4, Ashane Bandara for 9, Shoaib Malik for 2, and also Ferreira for 5. Thereafter, Wanindu Hasaranga de Silva was the only batsman to get to double figures when, in a losing cause, he just thumped the ball around, got a couple of 6s and 4s, and ended up scoring 29 runs. But in the bowling department, it was absolutely brilliant to see Nuwan Tushara slinging that ball just the way Lasith Malinga used to do when he was in his peak, when he returned the remarkable figures of 3.5 overs, no maidens, 13 runs for 5 wickets. But quite unfortunately, that was not good enough for the adjudicators to give him the player of the match, because it was decided by them to give it to Kusal Mendis. Despite the Jaffna Kings' local boy Vijayakant Vyaskant receiving much praise for his performances in the 2 games that he played, where he captured 5 wickets, taking 3 wickets in one game, 2 in the other, for some strange reason, he was not picked for today's encounter. So the chief scores: Galle Gladiators 188 for 5 in 20 overs, and the Jaffna Kings 124 all out in 16.5 overs.
Lanka Premier League 2021.